Welcome to Vishnu Consultants. Today, let us discuss the list of goods and services in various classes of the Trademarks Act, 1999. The fourth schedule to Trademarks Rules, 2002 provided classification of goods and services and name of the class. In our previous session, we have already discussed that there are a total of 45 classes in the Trademarks Act, 1999. The first 34 classes, from Class 01 to Class 34 are for goods, and rest of the 11 classes, from Class 35 to Class 45 are for services. Before applying for trademark registration, it is advisable to search the proposed trademark by its keyword, based on the nature of business and its business activity, to find out the relevant class. Engaging those consultants who have expertise in effectively performing such trademark searches with the keywords successfully yields desired results within the set time span and saves time and money for the applicant. The keyword search may be for a word, a combination of words, design, a name, logo, number, or any other unique identification symbol and/or for identifying a product and/or service. You are aware of that the fourth schedule to Trademarks Rules, 2002 provided classification of goods and services and name of the classes. Parts of an article or apparatus are, in general, classified with the actual article or apparatus, except where such parts constitute articles included in other classes. Class 1. Chemical used in industry, science, photography, agriculture, horticulture, and forestry, unprocessed artificial resins, unprocessed plastics, manures, fire extinguishing compositions, tempering and soldering preparations, chemical substances for preserving foodstuffs, tanning substances, adhesive used in industry. Class 2. Paints, varnishes, lacquers, preservatives against rust and against deterioration of wood, colorants, mordents, raw natural resins, metals in foil and powder form for painters, decorators, printers and artists. Class 3. Bleaching preparations and other substances for laundry use, cleaning, polishing, scouring and abrasive preparations, soaps, perfumery, essential oils, cosmetics, hair lotions, dentifrices. Class 4. Industrial oils and greases, lubricants, dust-absorbing, wetting and binding compositions, fuels, including motor spirit, and illuminants, candles, wicks. Class 5. Pharmaceutical, veterinary, and sanitary preparations, dietetic substances adapted for medical use, food for babies, plasters, materials for dressings, materials for stopping teeth, dental wax, disinfectants, preparation for destroying vermin, fungicides, herbicides. Class 6. Common metals and their alloys, metal building materials, transportable buildings of metal, materials of metal for railway tracks, non-electric cables and wires of common metal, ironmongery, small items of metal hardware, pipes and tubes of metal, safes, goods of common metal not included in other classes, ORs. Class 7. Machines and machine tools, motors and engines, except for land vehicles, machine coupling and transmission components, except for land vehicles, agricultural implements other than hand-operated, incubators for eggs. Class 8. Hand tools and implements, hand-operated, cutlery, sidearms, razors. Class 9. Scientific, nautical, surveying, electric, photographic, cinematographic, optical, weighing, measuring, signaling, checking, supervision, life-saving and teaching apparatus and instruments, apparatus for recording, transmission or reproduction of sound or images, magnetic data carriers, recording discs, automatic vending machines and mechanisms for coin-operated apparatus, cash registers, calculating machines, data processing equipment and computers, fire extinguishing apparatus. Class 10. Surgical, medical, dental, and veterinary apparatus and instruments, artificial limbs, eyes and teeth, orthopedic articles, suture materials. Class 11. Apparatus for lighting, heating, steam generating, cooking, refrigerating, drying, ventilating, water supply and sanitary purposes. Class 12. Vehicles, apparatus for locomotion by land, air, or water. Class 13. Firearms, ammunition and projectiles, explosives, fireworks. Class 14. Precious metals and their alloys and goods in precious metals or coated therewith, not included in other classes, jewelry, precious stones, horological and other chronometric instruments. Class 15. Musical instruments. Class 16. Paper, cardboard and goods made from these materials, not included in other classes, printed matter, bookbinding material, photographs, stationery, adhesives for stationery or household purposes, artists' materials, paint brushes, typewriters and office requisites, except furniture, instructional and teaching material, except apparatus, plastic materials for packaging, not included in other classes, playing cards, printer's type, printing blocks.
Class 17. Rubber, gutta percha, gum, asbestos, mica and goods made from these materials and not included in other classes, plastics in extruded form for use in manufacture, packing, stopping and insulating materials, flexible pipes, not of metal.
Class 18. Leather and imitations of leather, and goods made of these materials and not included in other classes, animal skins, hides, trunks and traveling bags, umbrellas, parasols and walking sticks, whips, harness and saddlery. Class 19. Building materials, non-metallic rigid pipes for building, asphalt, pitch, and bitumen, non-metallic transportable buildings, monuments, not of metal. Class 20. Furniture, mirrors, picture frames, goods not included in other classes, of wood, cork, reed, cane, wicker, horn, bone, ivory, whalebone, shell, amber, mother of pearl, meerschaum and substitutes for all these materials, or of plastics. Class 21. Household or kitchen utensils and containers not of precious metal or coated therewith, combs and sponges, brushes except paints brushes, brush-making materials, articles for cleaning purposes, steel wool, unworked or semi-worked glass, except glass used in building, glassware, porcelain and earthenware not included in other classes. Class 22. Ropes, string, nets, tents, awnings, tarpaulins, sails, sacks and bags, not included in other classes, padding and stuffing materials except of rubber or plastics, raw fibrous textile materials. Class 23. Yarns and threads, for textile use. Class 24. Textiles and textile goods, not included in other classes, bed and table covers. Class 25. Clothing, footwear, headgear. Class 26. Lace and embroidery, ribbons and braid, buttons, hooks and eyes, pins and needles, artificial flowers. Class 27. Carpets, rugs, mats and matting, linoleum, and other materials for covering existing floors, wall hangings non-textile. Class 28. Games and playthings, gymnastic and sporting articles not included in other classes, decorations for Christmas trees. Class 29. Meat, fish, poultry and game, meat extracts, preserved, dried and cooked fruits and vegetables, jellies, jams, fruit sauces, eggs, milk and milk products, edible oils and fats. Class 30. Coffee, tea, cocoa, sugar, rice, tapioca, sago, artificial coffee, flour and preparations made from cereals, bread, pastry and confectionery, ices, honey, treacle, yeast, baking powder, salt, mustard, vinegar, sauces, condiments, spices, ice. Class 31. Agricultural, horticultural and forestry products and grains not included in other classes, live animals, fresh fruits and vegetables, seeds, natural plants, and flowers, foodstuffs for animals, malt. Class 32. Beers, mineral and aerated waters, and other non-alcoholic drinks, fruit drinks and fruit juices, syrups and other preparations for making beverages. Class 33. Alcoholic beverages, except beers. Class 34. Tobacco, smokers' articles, matches. Class 35. Advertising, business management, business administration, office functions. Class 36. Insurance, financial affairs, monetary affairs, real estate affairs. Class 37. Building construction, repair, installation services. Class 38. Telecommunications. Class 39. Transport, packaging and storage of goods, travel arrangement. Class 40. Treatment of materials. Class 41. Education, providing of training, entertainment, sporting and cultural activities. Class 42. Scientific and technological services and research and design relating thereto, industrial analysis and research services, design and development of computer hardware and software. Class 43. Services for providing food and drink, temporary accommodation. Class 44. Medical services, veterinary services, hygienic and beauty care for human beings or animals, agriculture, horticulture, and forestry services. Class 45. Legal services, security services for the protection of property and individuals, personal and social services rendered by others to meet the needs of individuals.